Previously in The Chase.
Getting set for some bumping and rubbing in the bull ring that is Martinsville, Virginia. Oh, trouble. He's skating in the wall.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what is wrong with him. I'm dead.
You know, we're running side by side. It was okay, and then he started to hit me every freaking corner.
He's got the best car out here. Doesn't know what to do with it.
Tough hard. Get that rhythm back, man. Get that rhythm.
See Denny Hamlin now making that move inside.
Denny Hamlin takes the victory.
That's what I'm talking about. Denny Hamlin.
12 drivers, 10 races, 1 champion. Tapped into oblivion on the last lap. Forced right in a left turn only world. Flying without wings and crash landing yards from victory. This is what haunts you at Talladega. For the man out front, it's the last major obstacle standing between himself and history. 4 lanes of bumper-to-bumper traffic, hitting 200 miles an hour, can exhaust your talent in a hurry. But keep enough in the tank, and you can steal a memory you won't mind reliving. Then again, maybe not.
What will the overriding memory be today at Talladega? Will it be the race in the chase for the Sprint Cup that haunts Jimmie Johnson in his bid for history? Or will he again somehow snake through the trouble and take charge of this championship for good? As the drivers amp up for 500 miles, we go trackside for the command to get it started.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome the Vice President of Pepsi Sports, Jeff Dubille.
Gentlemen, amp your engines!
All right, dude, crank it up. Thing two, because, you know, make sure everyone's safe.
Fire it up, fire it up, fire it up, fire them up. Yeah, come in, Bing. If we're getting has changed his mind if you see him.
Well, if you've got a favorite driver, he's going to run anywhere from 1st to 30th at one point or another during the day. It's an action-packed, tension-fraught fight. And the men who lead us through all the oohs and ahs will all be gasping as we watch it, are upstairs ready to go. We turn it over to Dale Jarrett, Andy Petrie, and Dr. Jerry Punch. Doc?
Thank you very much, Alan. Hello, everyone. Glad to have you folks with us. And, folks, how truly appropriate here on this Halloween weekend that we find ourselves at NASCAR's fastest and most frightening racetrack, Talladega Superspeedway. Guys, this track gets the drivers' attention. You can hear it in their voices and you can see it in their eyes during the interviews. Specifically, what worries them most?
Well, what worries them is what they can't control. That's the thing all day long that they're going to face, is getting in an accident that wasn't of their making. They're going to be right in the middle of it and taking away an opportunity that they may have had to win the race. That's the thing that concerns them. It's not about getting hurt or tearing up their race car. It's just that they don't have that opportunity to go out and win, that it was taken away by someone else's misfortune.
Yeah, and they can see their whole season go up in a cloud of smoke here today, and that's what they're really afraid of, because they put so much effort into these type of race cars. Restrictor plate race takes a lot of detailed preparation, and that could all go away in just a blink of an eye.
Jimmie Johnson has a 118-point lead and finds himself just 4 races away from making NASCAR history. You heard him in the interview at the top of Countdown saying he's tired of worrying. Now, if you were Jimmie Johnson, what would you do today?
Well, I've talked to him this week. His plan was to, especially after it rained yesterday, to lead as many laps as he can, stay up front as much as he can, but once he got shuffled back, go to the back and hang out. That may have been changed somewhat because NASCAR made some new rules that they have implemented at the drivers' meeting. It may be a little bit more difficult to hang out in the back and then come to the front late in the race.
What about the guys that are chasing Jimmie Johnson? Montoya, Stewart, Gordon, Martin, how will they play it today?
Well, that's going to be the fun part. We heard Mark Martin say last week that he was going to race like he couldn't crash. So he's going to be aggressive, and he's going to go out there and try to lead a lot of laps. And Juan Pablo Montoya, one of the most aggressive guys on the racetrack, and he is good at restrictor plate racing, and I'm going to be watching him close because I'll guarantee you there'll be a lot of excitement that'll be surrounding this 42 car.
It is the wild card race of the chase. Mark Martin calls it the lottery because it is a high-speed game of chance. Since we were here in April, folks, they've made the restrictor plates smaller and the catch fences taller. What does that tell you? It tells you that we're expecting a wild one here at Talladega today. Will it be trick or treat for NASCAR's brightest stars? We are about to find out as they come down 2 by 2 for the green flag at Talladega. Takes them almost a lap to come up to full speed here. They are side by side. Looks like a parade lap as now Jimmie Johnson and Jeff Gordon pull away. The inside lane now getting a 3-car length advantage.
See Jamie McMurray up there on the high side. Looks like he's a little bit off the pace. I don't know if he's doing that on purpose or not, but he's definitely going back. But here comes Mark Martin now with that outside line.
All about momentum here, DJ. Now the outside line seems to have it as they sweep through the banking coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, these guys will be testing this throughout the race to see just which line will move the best with these new plates and their drafting partners. And we'll talk a lot about some of the things that NASCAR told these guys during the drivers' meeting, what they're allowed to do and what not to do. Basically, if you're allowed to bump on the straightaway, you better keep your distance in the corners.
Well, Mark Martin gets those first 5 points that are available, leading that first lap.
41 cars in the draft, 3 lanes. It's all about Talladega now. Almost 200 miles an hour, 3 different lines, and there they are. Look at Montoya and the 24 car. Bump, push, and bump. All the way up to the 14 of Tony Stewart.
See Montoya get in there. He actually pulled out a line there. Got himself in a 3 and maybe 4 wide position coming off of 4.
Look at the outside lane there. The 17 car, the Daytona 500 winner, Matt Kenseth, and now Jeff Burton pulls up there to lead that parade up on the high lane. Ryan Vickers, the 2006 winner, now pulls up in front of Burton to try to lead him around.
And Kurt Busch will lead that second lap.
See Mark Martin down on the inside. He and Tony Stewart now starting to drift toward the back, and I've got to believe this is a calculated move.
Well, I hope so, because he's definitely out of the throttle pretty good here. He's going back pretty quickly. It's like Tony Stewart's on board with him also here.
I knew that Tony Stewart had said that he was going to go to the back and hang out. He thought that was his best opportunity not to lose points and possibly help him gain points if he was able to make things work the way that he wanted to in the latter stages of this race.
Well, Mark Martin got his 5 bonus points. Kurt Busch got 5 that time by. But how about the guy at the back of the pack, the 9 car, Dave?
Doc, Friday's practice produced a couple of things for Kasey Kahne. First of all, a great show. He and Denny Hamlin were 2 of the fastest cars on the racetrack. And right now, as he has dropped back in the field, we'll have to check on that. He's losing the draft. But they had an engine problem after that first practice session and had to go and change motors. That's why they started in the rear. We'll try to hustle up why the 9 has dropped as far back as he has.
Yeah, he's 2 seconds off the pace right now with the cars up there drafting in front of him. He's got nobody to help him, and he's 2 seconds off the leader's pace.
Yeah, there's one thing to hang at the back, and there's another thing to totally lose the draft. So I think that the 9 car, Kasey Kahne, has a problem, definitely.
Look at Greg Biffle there in the middle of this 3-wide draft here. Coming down, there's Casey Mears on the high side, the 07 car. As Kurt Busch again leads that lap.
And you see Casey Mears and Kevin Harvick both. Richard Childress cars now working that high side.
It is hard to believe that Kurt Busch, who has the best average
turn 2.
off of turn 2, couple of cars up into the outside
Paul
wall.
Menard is one of those cars.
Paul Menard, the 98 car, nosed into the wall.
Blew a tire.
And Joe Nemechek is the other car.
Yeah, you could hear, sound like Paul Menard said he blew a tire.
So 5 laps in here, we have the first caution flag today. Only 2 cars involved, unlike what happened here back in April where we had a 12-car crash on lap 7.
These cars running in such close proximity, you know, they're going to rub against each other some, and invariably somebody's going to touch and knock out either a valve stem or part of that sidewall of the tire and cause these things to go down.
Right side of your screen, these guys running toward the back of the pack, and you heard him say about a cut tire and heavy damage on both those cars. So under caution for the first time today here at Talladega, lap number 5, 2 cars involved. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.